Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jeffrey Schultz and I am a master's computer science student attending Concordia University, Chicago. Today I'm going to introduce my new series that covers Vim, and in this video we're going to be going over some basics of Vim, what it is, why we use it, and what some basic commands are. So let's get started. So what is Vim? Why do we use it? Vim stands for V improved, which is just all it is a highly configurable and efficient text editor. So you usually use this in command line environments for quick editing without you really needing a GUI. If you watch my last video, you heard me talk about Pico, but this is a little bit honestly more efficient because you're able to just use all these things without really having to needing a GUI. You're able to just use keyboard shortcuts and able to do these things. And the nice thing about this is that if you're using terminal, you're using a Linux environment, it's automatically installed. You don't have to install anything like you normally would for other things or like other commands that you could be able to run. So it's known for a couple different things. It's highly customizable through a file called vimrc. It's available, like I said, in all Unix and Linux systems. It's very quick and precise once you figure out and master it and understand it. And it's good for modal editing. There's 4 different types of modes, which we will be going over in the video. And here we go, Vim modes. The first one is called normal mode, and this is just going to happen when you open Vim, and you're going to just use this for navigation and executing other commands. The most important one, arguably, is called insert mode, and this is for typing and editing text. And the most common way of entering this is through just a lowercase I, but there are other ways to go about doing this, which we will be going over all 6 of these momentarily. The third mode is called visual mode, and this is just for selecting blocks of text. And you can enter this through V, small or uppercase, or you can do for block visual mode, you could do Ctrl and V. And the last one is called command line mode, and we're going to be going over exactly what this is because this one's pretty important too. Insert is the most important, then command line mode is probably the next most important after this, because this is able to save your documents, quit them, search, and you just enter this through, you enter colon, and then you type in whatever you're going to need to do. And I'll be going over that in a second. So some basic commands in Vim. Here are all 6 of the different ways for insert mode, or all the different commands that you're able to do. So if you want to insert at the cursor, which means like at your current location, you can do a capital I. If you want to append something, which means just add after the cursor, small a, lowercase a. And then for opening a new line below, it's just lowercase o. And then capital I is inserted at the beginning of a line. Capital A is appending at the end of a line. And capital O is opening a new line above the current one you're on. So for saving and quitting, if you want to just save something, you just put :W. If you want to quit, :Q. If you want to save and quit, which is honestly the most widely used one, because usually if you want to do one, you want to do both, you type in :WQ. And then if you want to quit something without saving, so if like you want to just abandon a document you're on, you do :Q exclamation point. So for cursor movement, if you want to move left instead of using like obviously a mouse or a regular navigation, you're going to use keys. So for left, it's going to be H. For down, it's going to be J. For up, it's going to be K. And for right, it's going to be L. And then for deleting text, X is just going to be able to delete a single character that's on the cursor, under the cursor, so your current location. If you want to delete an entire line, you type in DD. And if you want to delete an entire word, just a single word, DW. So for undo and redo, for undoing an action, just like a normal undo action, like if you were to do this in Word, PowerPoint, whatever, it's just U. And then for redoing an action, so let's say, oh, I didn't want to undo that. Let me redo it. You would just hit Control and R. And FYI, if you're on a Mac, I know usually for Mac, because I understand how this works, you usually would hit Command for Control. But when you're working in Linux, you actually still hit Control. It's not Command. So the last thing is copying and pasting. They call it yanking and putting in Vim, but it's the same thing as copying and pasting. That's just the terminology they use. So if you want to yank or copy the entire line, you type in YY, and if you want to paste the line above it, you hit capital P. If you want to paste it below, you hit small lowercase p, so without shift. So that's it. We're going to be practicing these commands in real time now. So I will see you guys in the terminal. Thank you very much. Terminal, let's practice these commands in real time. So we're first going to start off by creating a file using the command vim, just like this, and calling the file file.txt, so just a regular text file. So as you see right here in this bottom left corner, it's just going to say the file name and it's brand new. So this just means we are in normal mode. So if we want to go into insert mode, like I said, that's honestly the most important one out of all these. We just hit the lowercase I, and as you see right there, the bottom left updates to insert. So we're just going to type in something like, hello, this is my first line in Vim, exclamation point. And then obviously we don't want to insert anymore at the moment, so we're just going to hit escape. And then as you see, the insert goes away and we are right back to normal mode. So if you open up a file, it's going to say the file name right away, but if you go, like if you already started a file and go back to normal mode, it's just not going to say anything. So this is how you know that you're in normal mode. So the next things we went over were the lowercase and uppercase O commands. So if you want to hit lowercase o, it's going to add a line below right here. And I'll just type in this line was added using O, just like that. Hit escape again to go back to normal mode. And then for uppercase O, it's going to add a line above. So if we typed in Shift O, you see right here, there goes that line. It's right above it. So this line was added using O. Hit escape again. So then we're going to move to the first line using K. So up just like that. We're going to type in Shift A, and as you can see right there, it goes back to insert mode, but it takes me to the end of this line. So I'm just going to type in appended, because that's what this A stands for. Hit escape again. And then for navigation, if you want to move left, like you see right there, it's moving left. We just hit H. If you want to move right, it's L. If you want to go down, it's J. And if you want to go up, it's K. So let's move to the beginning of this document, just like this. And if we want to delete a single character, we're just going to hit X, just like that. And as you see, the H from hello is now gone. So if we want to delete the rest of this word, because this is not a word, LO is not a word, we could just type in DW, and you see it's gone. So now let's just get rid of this comma, because it doesn't really make much sense there. So we just hit X again, and we hit X again, so it lines up nicely to delete that empty space. So now we're going to move to a full line. We're already on a full line, but we're going to delete the rest of this. So we're just going to hit DD, and you see it's gone. So let's say I didn't want to do that. If I wanted to undo that action, we just hit U, and as you see, it's right back, and we see it was deleted 5 seconds ago, and now it is back. So if we wanted to redo that action, so redoing the action would just mean we're going to delete this again in this case, because that's the last thing we did. We're just going to hit Ctrl R, and it's gone again. So the next thing I went over was yanking and copying, or yanking and putting, or also known as copying and pasting in most people's terms. So we're just going to hit YY to copy this line, and then to paste it here, we're going to hit lowercase p, and to paste it above, we're going to hit uppercase P, just like that. So then now that we're done with this, we're going to hit just :WQ, which just means save and quit. Hit enter, and that's it. So that's the basics of Vim in kind of all in one. So in my next video, I'm going to be going over some really advanced demonstrations of some stuff you can do, because this is just really the basics of what you can do at one file. Some navigation, insert mode, command line mode, normal mode. Okay, so I'm going to go over some key takeaways before we wrap up this video. So what do we go over in this video exactly? So Vim is a very powerful and modal text editor with the 4 different modes that we discussed, ideal for efficient keyboard-based editing. So the 4 main modes are normal, insert, visual, and command line, and you guys just saw some of those in the demo we just did. So for file operations, to save, :W, to quit, :Q, to save and quit, :WQ, and to force quit, :Q, exclamation point. So the different shortcuts for insert mode for flexible text entry are, the most normal one is for I, but you also have A, O, in lowercase and uppercase. So this is for, O is for opening a new line above or below, the A is for appending, and I is for entering insert mode. The most normal one being lowercase I, which you guys just saw. So for navigation keys, which we also just went over, we have H, J, K, L for moving left, down, up, or right, respectively. For editing, for deleting a character is X, deleting a line is DD, and deleting a word is DW. For undoing and redoing, you have U and Ctrl R, respectively. And then for copying and pasting, or I like to say they call it yanking and putting. For yanking or copying, it's YY, and then for pasting, it's either above or below. So P, small p, or capital P to paste. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. So thank you for watching. Please be sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and have a great day.